have domain names that could be trusted and appear to be trusted that end up being owned by hackers. So that is something that hasn't been getting a lot of play in the media, but it is something that's very serious, and we need to recognize that threat.
Pete, with the U.S. giving up protection of the internet, ICANN, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, that could lose its antitrust exemption status. As reported in the Wall Street Journal, ICANN would seek to be overseen by another governmental group so as to keep its antitrust exemption. Authoritarian regimes have already proposed ICANN become part of the UN to make it easier for them to censor the internet globally. Pete, when we were in Congress, we had more than our share of difficulties with the United Nations. Is it even more dangerous to have the UN step into the place of the U.S. as we give up control of the internet?
You know, one of the greatest inventions of the last 20 or 30 years, the internet. America has put in place a whole system of disciplined protocols to make sure that that continues to be a bastion of freedom and entrepreneurship, and we're going to turn it over to the UN. It makes absolutely no sense, and what people need to recognize, this is a voluntary decision that is being made unilaterally by our president. It is absolutely outrageous. We are giving away control and really the discipline of this system, an organized system from the United States of America, and potentially turning it over to the UN and that crazy bunch of people over there. It's not a good, it's a terrible move, and who knows what it will do to the internet.
Stephen J.J. Weissman, you take an academician's approach to all of these things. Is there a worst case scenario in your mind? What do we have to be most concerned about as October 1st approaches? Got about a minute.
Yeah, I agree. I think we are fixing a problem that isn't there, that doesn't need fixing. And I see issues with the international control and putting in rules that are not necessarily as protective of free speech as we are. I see the possibility of the security and hacking of this system and being controlled by organized crime groups and highly sophisticated organized crime groups having an influence. I see this as a real threat to the internet.
And of course, George Soros, with his background in currency speculation, you just wonder what he might be behind in some of this as well. Pete, before we go, political question. What do you make the results tonight? Marco Rubio declared the winner almost instantaneously as soon as the polls closed in Florida. About 20 seconds for your response, sir.